Gayle Lofthouse.
BBC Radio Leeds.
Now, the Chapel Allerton Arts Festival is on at the moment, and tonight you can see a brilliant singer-songwriter who you might have seen before on the telly, actually. If you're a long-time fan of the TV show The Voice, she was runner-up when the show was in its second series on the BBC, and I remember this. I remember will.i.am just thought she was absolutely the bee's knees. In fact, before we have a chat to her, let's dip in. Let's go back and dip into The Voice.
You're beautiful. Make love to you is all I wanna do. Loving you is more than just a dream come true. Everything I do is out of loving you.
Oh my goodness, giving Minnie Riperton a run for her money there. That is the fabulous Leah McFall, who joins me now. Hello.
Hiya.
Oh my gosh. I remember you at the time, and I remember just thinking your voice is actually phenomenal. And I think you were compared to, I think it might have been will.i.am who said something like, you know, you could be the next Adele, but your voice is beyond, it's beyond. How long have you been able to sing like that, Leah? How long have you been able to do that?
Oh, thank you. I started singing whenever I was a kid. Yeah, probably in around 5 or 6. Started to ask for solos. I was that kid. But yeah, like probably the whistle note. I discovered it in around 14. So then it was just about honing it and learning how to riff on it and stuff like that.
So when did you learn about the TV programme then? Had you sort of seen the first series, or did you just sort of get swept along somehow?
No, like I'd already moved to London whenever I was 20, so 2 years before that show, and I was just gigging around, and I was actually gigging in a jazz EP that I had released, and I started to release covers of YouTube, just YouTube covers online. So what I would do is if I knew a big artist was about to release a song, I'd book out a studio room, wait for them to release a song, and then we'd put up a cover, so it was one of the first ones on there. So from those covers, I got scouted for The Voice.
I see.
Yeah, so you still go through the audition process, but you maybe get pushed through like a couple of the auditions, but you still, obviously, if you've got one audition before the blind audition then.
Well, I mean, what an incredible opportunity, and you took it right to the end. But what did the show? Did the show give you an understanding of the industry? Did it give you an understanding of, like working with huge names like will.i.am?
Yeah, I mean, like I was kind of very much shot into the industry a good bit. Now I had been kind of grafting, and doing the work beforehand, so I was starting to meet people within, like kind of working like within labels and things like that, and understanding a wee bit more of the setup. But the show definitely, like, you're not allowed to sing covers. Well, you're not allowed to sing originals. Sorry, I'm not sure if that's changed now. So basically, because I wrote, I wanted to kind of change any originals, any like cover that I've been given. I wanted to change the melody of it so that people would kind of know what way I wrote, and that was just to try and use it as a bit of a platform, like a big open mic night, to try and see if people kind of related to my music at all or liked it in any way. So yeah, but then after that, I was propelled kind of very much into the deep end and went to LA and was working with just Will, and then a lot of basically songwriters I'd looked up to for years, like Esther Dean and Toby Gad and stuff, that had wrote a lot of Beyonce.
It must be difficult for an artist like you, in that you have a truly unique sound, and you've clearly got a lot to say as well. And in terms of your music and in terms of you as a person, to then go into a program like that and to be sort of told, oh, you might have to do this song, we might have to do it this way, and then this is gonna happen. Is it like trying to sort of shoehorn your talent in some way, if you see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think you kind of just, if anybody is considering going on a show like that, I think like it's just kind of knowing, what artist you are before you walk onto it, because then you just can use it as a massive, like, platform to just showcase. I think, like, if you're not totally sure, it would be easy to kind of be, shifted in or anything like that to maybe something you weren't comfortable with. And like, I do think as well, you're there to obviously take advice from people that kind of know what they're talking about. Like, for me, my project was always missing production direction. So whenever I went on, I wanted Will to turn, because I knew that with working with him, he could help me figure out how to fuse jazz and R&B beats like into my music. So I think it's just kind of being sure of what artist you want to be and who you are, and just trying to maintain that. It definitely is always hard whenever you're given cover songs, because I mean, you're always compared to the original artist, who's always phenomenal. So for me, I just wanted to, like, being given Loving You, Minnie Riperton. I was like, oh no, like, no one can in any way, sing this to her standards. So it was just about changing the melody up and trying to make it a bit more like me, like my own type of music, just to be able to showcase it in a different way.
Well, I mean, as they say in programs like that, you absolutely smashed it. You smashed it and shattered it and put it back together again and smashed it again. I mean, well, honestly, it was truly amazing. But so, as an artist, where are you now? What are you excited about? What's next for you?
So I just moved into independent music. I was signed, and like a lot of artists, that happens. Stuff happens within your team and things like that, and your record then sometimes doesn't get released. So sadly, that record with Will never got to see the light of day. But I then got back into the studio with producers and people that I'd worked with beforehand that were class, like Pete Buxton and a guy called Corey Kay, and we just made this record called Ink, and we released it independently, like just off the back of a fan base that I'd been able to get from the show, that were so faithful and waited for me to get out of my contracts. And then we just put on our own tour and ended up, selling out venues across the UK and things like that. So I'm just releasing music, still releasing independent music, and touring. And tonight I'm gigging at this festival. I'm so looking forward to it. It's
a lovely venue, and it's called the Seven Arts Centre in Chapel Allerton, and I think it'll be the kind of place as well where you'll get lots of people who are interested in lots of different kinds of music. So if nobody, if somebody turns up and they're not aware of your style or they're not aware of your genre, how would you describe, your particular brand of music?
Yeah, I mean, I've come such a journey. Like, I've stepped into gospel stuff a bit now as well. So, I mean, I just think like a person's life journey, you just kind of, your music comes with it. So for me, like, Ink was very, like, first independent record was very much like coming off the back of the show and fusing in these, like, my original influences, jazz and R&B, and fusing them into this real electronic heavy beats. And then I released a record called White X, which is another EP, and that was just moving into that further. To be honest with you, I've never known what my music is and how to describe it, because it just is very much a fusion, just like my voice is a bit schizophrenic. Definitely a lot of what you hear within my music is a lot of influences being like kind of pushed together into a song, which I really enjoy. I love the freedom of that. And then obviously just getting to tell a story of where I'm at in life at the minute. And I think that's how you really connect with other people. If you're just really true to what's going on in your own life and your own wee heart, I feel like that's what people really connect to.
Absolutely. Well, the song we're going to hear is Delicate. Do you feel delicate now, or do you feel strong now?
That song is about a love that is just so intimate and so overwhelming that it can be really, really strong. It just has the intimacy of being so delicate. So that's definitely something I'm surrounded with at the minute. Definitely, with faith, and also just I'm married now. I've got kids, and just that's just about the beauty of love and how it can be so overpowering, and yet can just be so delicate in your life. So yeah, like I'm going to be singing that tonight. I still think there's tickets available actually. So if you just go on sevenleeds.co.uk, grab a wee ticket. I'd love to meet you after. But yeah, so this song is we only released it a couple of weeks ago, so very fresh, a part of a record called Outside the Line. So definitely please go check it out.
Wonderful. Well, like you say, so you're on tonight, Seven Arts Centre in Chapel Allerton. You have a support artist as well, whose name I hope I can say right, Astra Luna, who has toured the world with the likes of Corinne Bailey-Rae. So I think, generally speaking, it's going to be an incredible show.
Yeah,
but wow,
class.
you live, Leah, I think that is just going to be wonderful. But we'll have a little flavour. It's been fantastic to talk to you. Lots and lots of luck with the future. This is Leah
Thank you so
McFall
much.
and Delicate on BBC Radio Leeds. Thank you so much, Leah. You take care. Ta-ta.
Thank you.
Bye.
I thought you painted love in broad strokes, not fair lines, no time for those. But you're mending the cracks in my heart. I thought not even the blood could heal with a kind touch and a small brush. My heart is sealed. Who could love me better than this? With that love so delicate, you know me deeper than I do. Who could love me better than you? I thought you'd love me from a distance, but I know your touch is far more intimate, and you're mending the cracks in my heart. I thought not even the blood could heal by a soft word and a whisper. My heart is sealed. Who could love me better than this? With that love so delicate, you know me deeper than I do. So who could love me better than you? Your love is fierce, but you're careful with me. Your passion's rage, yet you speak so tenderly. You're the healer and I'm broken, yet it's my heart that you've spoken for. As you pour your gold to hold me together. And who could love me better than this? With that love so delicate, you know me deeper than I do. So who could love me better than you?
Wowza. Leah McFall there and a song called Delicate. That was beautiful, wasn't it? If you like the sound of Leah, she is on at the Seven Arts Centre in Chapel Allerton this evening as part of the Chapel Allerton Arts Festival.